didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice of justice and freedom to man. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine to our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, let anger not tear us apart. Light one candle to bind us together, the peace is the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who died when we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail. This is the verdict, this is the promise, this is what we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, don't let the light for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, don't let the light go out, don't let the light go out.
Erev Tov, good evening.
Bruchim Habayim, welcome.
My name is Saul Pressner.
And I'm Hugh Pollock.
We met each other in 1975 as dental students at the University of Pennsylvania, becoming quick friends. And over the years, we've each discovered this amazing institution called DVI.
First as volunteers and donors, and now fellow board members. And together, we have the privilege as Gala co-chairs to welcome you tonight to the virtual AFDI Gala event.
Tonight's milestone event celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Trudy Berger DVI Dental Clinic in Jerusalem is also the first virtual gala for the American Friends of DVI, and we are extremely excited about the program ahead.
Through inspiring video presentations about our extraordinary group of volunteers and honorees, you will experience the remarkable story of DVI and its noble mission. DVI is truly a magical place, an oasis of peace for children of need who are treated with tremendous care and dignity, qualities which are not so readily available in their difficult lives.
As DVI depends upon the generosity of donors from across the U.S. and throughout the world, we also want to thank everyone joining us tonight. Because of your generous commitment, we can fulfill our vision for DVI, providing much needed care to even greater numbers of children.
We're especially indebted to our corporate sponsors, who will be recognized later, for their devotion to the ideals of communal and corporate responsibility to Tikkun Olam, making the world a better place.
How appropriate it is, as we rededicate ourselves tonight to the continuity of DVI, we also celebrate the first night of Hanukkah, recalling the rededication of Jewish life in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago.
Just as Hanukkah brings light to the world, because of you, together we're able to bring great light and great hope to the children of Jerusalem.
So as we wish you a Hanukkah Sameach, a happy Hanukkah. Let us start the evening with a communal Hanukkah candle lighting and singing of Maoz Tzur, led by Cantor Shana Postman of Manhattan's Congregation Town and Village Synagogue.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayamim ha'em b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. מעוז צור ישועתי לך נאה לשבח תיכון בתפילתי ושם תודה נזבח לעת תכין מטבח מצור המנבח אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח.
It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you to the Gala. We also look forward to welcoming you back to the clinic here in Jerusalem. As you can imagine, the past almost 2 years have been most challenging, and yet DVI remained open throughout. We successfully identified and recruited local dental volunteers. We located new American immigrants who committed to volunteering on a regular basis, and we doubled the pediatric residency program so that we now have pediatric dentists doing their rotation on a daily basis. During the pandemic, not surprisingly, the first international volunteers who arrived at the clinic were members of AFDVI. Over the years, you have been a constant support to us, both as volunteers and philanthropists, creating a sense of family between us. While we are the nuclear family, we see our responsibility and privilege serving the less fortunate members of our bigger family, the people of Israel, Jews, Muslims, and Christians. Speaking for all of our staff here in Israel, I want to thank you for your ongoing support, and we look forward to seeing you here in Jerusalem.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Weinstein. About 30 years ago, I stepped foot into the Trudy Berger Clinic in Israel, and I saw my first patient. And from that day forward, my life has been completely changed. Anybody who's thinking about volunteering or obviously donating is very good too. But think about volunteering in that clinic. It is one of the most rewarding experiences of your dental career. There's nothing like the patients that are there. There's nothing like the support team that's there. There's nothing like the air of Jerusalem. And I can tell you that as a volunteer, it's one of the opportunities to actually get more than you give, and it's completely satisfying. The Holocaust program too, that they had, the Holocaust denture program that they have, is also really second to none. And again, it's at a level of community service and of giving that I think that most people aren't used to. So if you're thinking about in the future going to Israel and doing something very, very meaningful, I highly recommend working at the clinic, and I think you'll obviously, I know you're going to absolutely have a great time and come back super fulfilled. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Steve Kess, Vice President of Global Professional Relations at Henry Schein. Team Schein is very proud of our long-term partnership with the DVI Clinic and are delighted to congratulate this year's wonderful Gala honorees. I'd like to especially call out my colleague Keith Dreyer, who for more than a decade has been a constant and ongoing supporter of DVI and Henry Schein Care's support of that wonderful institution. We have more than 25 years of history with DVI, initially introduced to Trudy Berger by our chairman Stan Bergman at a Greater New York meeting in 1997. Stan, myself, and our vice president of dental marketing, Paul Hinch, were also honorees receiving this distinguished recognition. Team Schein is dedicated to DVI and look forward to many years of support in the future. It's my privilege now to introduce the next part of this wonderful gala night. Appropriately, it is an inspiring musical presentation of songs of Jerusalem. Even more appropriate for DVI, which focuses on the welfare of children of Jerusalem, the performance is by the extraordinary Hazamir, the international teen choir that welcomes musically talented youth and is under the direction of Vivian Lazar. The participants come from over 40 chapters across the United States and Israel and join together every year in New York for a major choral concert under the auspices of the Zamir Choral Foundation, led by Maestro Matthew Lazar. Enjoy the performance.
If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, should I lose the will to hope? If I should never see your golden hills, my right hand, powerless and still. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, I forget thinking only this to last, thinking knowing thee of our home. Speaking tongues none could understand,
That was a very inspiring performance by the Hazamir Choir. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Scott Dabowski. I am the president of American Friends of DVI, and I want to welcome you to the virtual gala for American Friends. It's obviously virtual because of circumstances, but we've taken great lengths to make sure that it's an interesting and inspiring evening for you, and we hope that you enjoy the program we've provided. Most of you know that Trudy Berger founded the DVI Clinic in Jerusalem over 40 years ago to treat indigent children in the Jerusalem area with no expenses, no cost rather, to those patients, regardless of ethnicity or religion or other backgrounds. And the clinic has survived all these years based on the donations of people like you and the volunteer efforts of the dentists who come and work in the clinic. Tonight, we're going to tell the story of the clinic in a little different way. We're going to tell it through the honorees that we have tonight. And there are 6 of them. The first one is Dr. D. Walter Cohn, the late Dr. Cohn. He was my dean at the University of Pennsylvania, but he was also an ardent supporter of the clinic and knew Trudy and worked with her for many years to keep the clinic going and establish links between America and the clinic. The next person is Mr. Avraham Asheri. He, until recently, was the chairman of the board of DVI. He was dedicated to the clinic for many, many years. He used his financial experience as an officer in the Israel Discount Bank to help guide the clinic through many, many years of fiscal difficulty, but he was great at it. The next is Dr. Gordon Christensen, again, someone who knew Trudy over the years, who helped the clinic by giving lectures, donating his time to the clinic, giving lectures here in the United States and in Israel. And we really think that his efforts were very, very helpful to us in getting the recognition that DVI has gotten from Gordon has been a very, very important thing. The next is Mr. Olivier Schiller. Olivier is the president of Septodont, and his family, his grandmother and Trudy, were friends, and they really helped in the very beginning of the clinic. The dentists in France were very instrumental in founding the clinic and helping them out, and Olivier's grandmother was inspirational in this regard, and the Schiller family has continued over all these years to be very, very helpful to the clinic and supported the clinic and the efforts that have been made to treat the children and now the senior citizens. The last 2 honorees are special to me because they're friends. Mr. Keith Dreyer is a vice president of Henry Schein, and Henry Schein has been instrumental in keeping the clinic going over all these years. Henry Schein has been invaluable in the support they've given to the clinic for many, many decades. And Keith has gone above and beyond. He's not only supportive from the Schein standpoint of view, but he's also a vice president of American Friends of DVI, and has devoted countless hours to the organization and to keep the donations coming and the activities alive. So Keith is really a special person. And last but not least, is Dr. Michael Goldberg. Dr. Goldberg and I have been friends for many years, but more importantly, he has been with the clinic since the beginning. And he has been going to the clinic since the early 80s, and he has really dedicated a part of his life to the DVI clinic. He has donated his time, he's donated his funds, he's donated everything, and most importantly, he's donated his ideas, which have been critical in keeping the clinic going. And Michael really deserves some special recognition, and I appreciate his efforts. So with that, I'm going to turn the video over to the interviews that we're going to have. So take it away.
It is indeed a pleasure to be with you today for the Dental Volunteers for Israel's 40th anniversary gala. To recognize remarkable social entrepreneurs, Olivier Schiller and soft-spoken friend and colleague Keith Dreyer.
Avraham is a very experienced, clever, highly knowledgeable person with a vast amount of experience.
I'm so honored to be able to give this award to Gordon Christensen. He's given over 450,000 lectures to the global dental community in his career. Has really, truly been unbelievable body of work that he's created in his lifetime.
I know Michael many times. I've seen him in meetings. We connected and I invited him to join me on a trip to Israel, and he decided to come.
Ahmed and I traveled up and down Israel.
So I discovered Michael. The best time to discover a person is when you travel with them.
My connection is through University of Pennsylvania and the legacy that was established by D. Walter Cohen many years ago with DVI.
DVI.
Influence others to want to come and serve in the clinic.
For American Friends of DVI.
DVI started because there was high need for dental care among children in Israel.
The best, least known organization of its kind in the world.
It's truly a remarkable tapestry of people that care.
They're totally well understood that we should teach families and children basic oral health education and habits.
And she said that she wants every child to be able to smile, widely smile.
The smile is a universal language.
Anyone who went there literally had their whole element of oral health issues completely turned around.
One of the children that was treated became later dentist, a volunteer in DVI to treat little children.
The other volunteers are very interesting because you have a lot in common with them, even though you don't know them at all. You're self-selected.
I was surprised by the amount of doctors that really wanted to come to Israel from New Zealand up to Alaska.
We met volunteers from all over the world, from a cultural, ethnic, and religious background that is so different.
The children can be any ethnic group, any religion. The doctors can be any ethnic group and any religion.
Each was part of this unique tapestry, providing oral care.
Helping to bring peace, especially around Jerusalem. So
many communities. And what is wonderful with DVI,
as long as we keep having volunteers come, the clinic will thrive.
They just want to provide good treatment to people who can't afford this treatment.
The clinic gets constant major support from the American Friends of DVI. The support not only helps to cover the operating expenses, but also enables the clinic to initiate new programs.
With the University at Al-Quds, and Hadassah, and the University at Tel Aviv. These are major outcomes, delayed slightly by a pandemic, but not totally derailed.
Oh, of course, it's all modern equipment. It's up to date. The staff are friendly, peaceful, quiet. That creates a certain peacefulness in the child as they come.
In visiting the clinic, I was impressed and touched by the special spirit and by the wonderful clinic work done by Trudy and the volunteers.
And my mother had the inner burn in her to help many kids. She said that she don't want that there will be kids that suffered like her in the Holocaust.
Her emphasis on not letting any child go without appropriate care was an amazing mantra.
Having known Trudy and known Gordon somewhat, powerful. Both were extraordinarily powerful people. Their devotion to their own personal altruistic mission. And it's been very impressive to be able to have been exposed to both of them personally.
Nobody could refuse her passion and persistence.
You couldn't say no to Trudy.
She was incredible.
She came out and she said, if you were in Israel, you would have to serve in the armed forces. You're not here, so this is the least you can do.
Yeah, Trudy and Zev, may they rest in peace, were both Holocaust survivors. They saw, on personal level, the Balabust energy of Trudy that became famous all around the world.
And when she died, she was very up and running until the last night. And when she left us, she left quite a lot of money in the bank of the clinic that she were able to raise as one-man show.
All of your Team Shine colleagues are so pleased with the great work you are doing and would love for you to accept our congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Thank you for what you're doing to make the world a better place, Keith.
For the memory of D. Walter Cohen is to keep alive so many of the tenets that he had about establishing a humanity based upon oral health.
Abraham was part of the ones who led those changes to adapt the clinic.
Gordon Christensen, who's been, truthfully, not only my idol, but the idol of so many in our profession for so many years.
Michael is a very unique individual, and I think all of us and DVI are blessed to have Michael energy.
Thank you to the DVI staff and volunteers to ensure that all the children and vulnerable people of Jerusalem continue to receive the oral health care they need.
All friends should be proud to support the venture of DVI. This improved life of children and elderly people. Thank you so much.
Those presentations were wonderful. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did watching them. These people that we honored tonight are emblematic of the way that the DVI clinic has inspired so many to give selflessly of themselves in order to keep the care going to those in need in Jerusalem. We are going to present them with a token of our appreciation, some artwork, and I'd like to read to you the inscription there. It says, presented by American Friends of Dental Volunteers for Israel, with appreciation and admiration for your commitment and devotion to the DVI Trudy Berger Clinic in Jerusalem. And I'd also like to mention that the artwork that includes scenes of Jerusalem and the clinic with children and the phrase, healing the world one smile at a time. And again, it's a small token, but we really appreciate the honorees for all the work they've done through so many years. At this time, I would also want to make another special presentation to Martha Rodriguez. Martha has been our executive director since 2014. And I can tell you that, and it's an old joke between Michael Goldberg and myself, who was the previous president, that by far the most inspiring thing that he ever did was to hire Martha as our executive person. She has been an unbelievable person, a giving person. We could never give her enough money to do what she did. She did everything that she's done with her heart, and we totally appreciate it. And so we also want to make a presentation to Martha, and it's presented by American Friends of DVI to Martha Rodriguez with appreciation and admiration and affection for your commitment to the DVI Trudy Berger Clinic in Jerusalem, and for your tireless dedication and devotion to AFDVI as Executive Director and a dear friend from 2014 until 2021. She's left her post as Executive Director for a very good reason. She's taking care of her granddaughter, Ruby, and we only wish her the best of luck. So that concludes our presentation tonight. We want to thank you so much for staying with us and watching the events. I can only urge you to think about what we're doing. Personally, the AFDVI and the DVI clinic, it's the most altruistic thing that I've probably done in my life. There's no better thing to do than to give to others just because you're helping someone else. And I know that some of you, can look into your hearts and dig a little deeper and help us out. The pandemic has had devastating effects on the clinic, but they've survived somehow, and they're getting through it. But we need the funds. The pandemic hit us financially. The dental community in the United States was devastated by the pandemic. There was a lot of loss of income. So that's translated into us having a harder time to get the donations going, and we appreciate any extra that you can give us, any way you can find in your hearts to give us any funds to donate to the clinic, because it's really needed, and it's a great cause, and I appreciate each and every one of you and what you can do. And now I'd like to turn the evening over to Dr. Saul Presner and Dr. Hugh Pollack to close out the presentation. Thank you and good night.
Hugh, what an amazing and inspiring evening this has been. Many thanks to our DVI professional and lay leadership, our board, our extraordinary honorees, our corporate sponsors, and all our donors and supporters, like all of you who have joined us tonight.
Together, we have not only celebrated this milestone 40th anniversary of this landmark institution, but together we have assured its continuity for the future, so that we continue to put smiles on the faces of Jerusalem's children.
We are indebted to our remarkable retiring executive director, Martha Rodriguez, who was indispensable in making this evening such a great success. Thank you, Martha.
And I want to especially thank my invaluable Gala co-chair and dear friend, Saul Presner, for teaming up with me to make tonight possible.
And I have to thank my co-chair, Hugh Pollack, who really, when he just did a yeoman's job, he was amazing. As we close this gala, before we open up the Zoom and unmute everyone in order to be able to greet each other, we end with the journal recognizing all of you who have selflessly and generously supported our vision and our mission.
As the song Light One Candle plays in the background, your dedication to this great cause has truly lit many new candles, bringing light to Jerusalem. Fulfilling the song's message, together, we light one candle for the Maccabee children.
Laila Tov. Have a good night.
And thank you again. Mazal Tov to DVI and to all of us.
Amen.
one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in that anger not tear us apart. Light one candle to bind us together, the peace is the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive